Hello YouTube, I'm Aquatic Ma. You're on the Aquatic Ma's channel. Today's video is going to be about me feeding my endlers, my tiger endlers up there, and also the rest of my fish. And just stay tuned. Now I have stopped feeding flake foods to my bettas. Flake foods have caused constipation, irregular bowel movement, a lot of other issues in the past for me, and I decided to just go with frozen and live foods only. I have grindle worms up top, I have springtails, I have daphnia cultures outside. I got a lot of live food cultures for my bettas to eat, as well as, like I said, I've switched to frozen. So a can of flake food cost me about the same as 2 small sheets of frozen bloodworms. The same as frozen brine shrimp as well. Sometimes I mix that in there with it. And that's what I feed my bettas, and that's also what I'm doing for the guppies and the endlers. So here I have a pipette. Couldn't think of the name of this thing. A pipette full of brine shrimp. I do this about maybe 5 times a day, I want to say. It sounds like a lot, but like I said, there's a lot of fish in here. Push it on down. And that gives my fry a chance to have something to eat that the adults will mostly ignore. If you see some of the juveniles right here, the bigger ones, they got nice big round bellies. That's because they're always eating. And the big mistake a lot of people make when they're raising live bears, they just put powder food in here. Well, the adults eat all the powder food. A pregnant live bear like the endlers, they're always going to want to eat and pick at stuff. And they leave very, very little to your fry. So if you feed baby brine shrimp in mass like I do, it gives the fry a chance to have plenty of food, and they get nice and fat, and in my opinion grow a lot faster. I do want to mention the cost of a can of food, like I said, is the same price as 2 sheets of frozen bloodworms. This can of food would probably last me about 6 months versus a sheet of bloodworms lasting me about a week. So in a sense it is a little bit more expensive, but like I said, I have live cultures, and this did not happen overnight. It takes months and months to gather live food cultures. I think I have a fly gnat larva in here. Oh no. But this is my grindle worm culture. I have springtails in here as well. Looks like I got a fly gnat problem in here too, but anyways, whatever's in here is gonna get fed to either a guppy, an endler, or a betta. So that's that. Springtails, I got this the beginning of the month of April, and now I have 2 cultures of these, plus 1 culture that I just showed you guys also has the grindle worms in it. But this is the mother culture, the original culture. And we got plenty of springtails in there. These little white dots. Like I said, it takes months to actually establish enough live food cultures to get rid of these. I still feed a little sprinkle of this in my pond outside for the guppies, even though they have live food out there anyway. And I do sprinkle a little bit in the endler tank. So I did get these guys about the beginning of April. I'll have to check my order just to make sure that I'm being correct, but I got them back in April, and I started off with 2 pairs, and I think 2 extra unsexed fry. Since then, I have, like it said, altogether about 30 fry and adults in this 10-gallon tank. Now, the water change schedule is a little bit crazy. I change the water about every 2 days. I bring the water level all the way down to the edge of the sponge filter. I siphon out all that yucky stuff in there. I've changed the substrate once on one side of the tank only because I had to get rid of some of my stem plants that were in there, and I threw them in the guppy pond, or I gave them to my crayfish, and I replaced all that substrate that I took out with crushed coral. So that is what I feed my live bears, as well as my bettas and everything else in the fish room. I hope you guys really enjoyed that video. I'll catch you guys on the next one.